Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. We'll start a little bit with your background. So maybe you can tell us, what is a tulku?
My background here is the wall. What is a tulku? Tulku is just a sticker name that they call tulku, you know. Tulku, so it's not as easy as it seems. People like to generalize the meanings. I'm sure if you go onto AI or find out from books and so on and so forth, they talk about, tulkus. But actually, what is the essential meaning of tulku? So there's the more absolute meaning, and then there's the more spiritual practitioner meaning. The more absolute meaning would be tulku means emanation. Emanation of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, like that. So this is the more maybe like an absolute meaning. But for me personally, tulku has this deeper flavor to it. It means someone like you or me, who in this life, we try our best to overcome ourselves from ourselves. So we are the one that's keeping ourselves trapped. By observing the words of honor, the vows and the words of honor we take in front of our gurus, by contemplating, by analyzing, by cultivating and facing our own fears and facing our own self, and then with the motivation and engagement of the practices and physical activities of manifestation of the vows that we have done, like going to do things that other people wouldn't do, for the benefit of others. Like for me, a classic example would be, I agreed to come to US even though I know I'm being snooped by Babette. Right? Yeah, Babette told me, "Oh, please come. And then when I come here, then snooped?
Snooped?
Snooped? I don't know what's snooped.
I don't know. I thought that's what you said.
No. It's a Singaporean language. Just being, this person, very sincere, everything, but and halfway through the activity, like you're being cheated. And smoked. Smoke, snoop, or whatever. So anyway, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
So for example, there's no reason for me to come to the US. Actually, there really is no reason on my own. The only purpose I come is because of them, And when I come, it's just not me come alone. There's so many people who are also. I'm also influencing a group of my other students who have the same thought, same heart, and they're really putting in the by ways of thought, deed, and action, And then we come together, and then we have to pay from our own resources to come here. Who pays us? Nobody pays us. So in terms of normal people and activity, it is a definitive loss to come here. Loss of leave, right, from job, loss of family time, loss of financial resources to come here. But why are we doing it? Because of something else. It's because something that we feel that it is beneficial. We see there's development by ways of some form or some level of emergence from the local community. even though it's slow, but I have no regrets because it's all about sowing seeds and not dropping bombs, right? And and Buddhism has in the U.S. not more than 100 years, and so that's why I'm here. And so when I say about the Tulkus, like for example, like for them, so they in their daily meditations, maybe if they when they are practicing Vajrayana, then they are consciously dissolving themselves and re-arising as a deity body with a deity speech, deity mind, and then they come and do the activity. So that is, in another word, in another sense, isn't that a living Buddha, a living Bodhisattva, a living deity? Very much like Nepal have the goddess Kumari. It's just that the Kumari is chosen without the initiation, and she wouldn't be consciously being Kumari. But for us, is a conscious effort to keep the visualization or to keep the feeling of body, speech, and mind as deity body, deity speech, deity mind. And so, even at the time of the passing away of this physical body, the mind still has this naturalized deity body, deity speech, deity mind. And so therefore, maybe they choose to come back to continue to be of benefit for others. So therefore, isn't that already an emanation of another past bodhisattva? So like I said, my own personal take of what a tulku is actually an emanation of another past great practitioner or bodhisattva, or somebody who treasures this spirit of enlightenment. Yeah. So that's my take on it.
And I want to come back to the deity practice in a little bit. But I also want to hear about first your early life and how you came to Buddhism, how you found Buddhism in this lifetime. Because I know there's an interesting story there.
Actually, I can say I'm a naturalized Buddhist. When I was born in this life, my family is very close to Buddhism, Taoism, Confucianism. My own grandfather, my paternal grandfather, was a practicing Taoist. Yeah, and then my maternal grandparents, they also practice Taoism. But my maternal grandparents, their Taoism, they have more Buddhist influence. My paternal grandfather's Taoist practice also pay respect to Buddhist deities, and pay respects to Buddha, to Kuan Yin, and so on and so forth. And so on, and so therefore maybe it's a naturalized for us, as Chinese, that that there's no real distinction in the past between Buddhist, Taoist, or Confucianism, or Chinese folklore, Chinese religion, and this. It was only very much into from the 80s where Americans and foreigners started to come in to really try to push Christianity to the local people. And then it started to feel that it was more those who were converting to Christianity were like what I learned over here, the cool kids. The teenagers who became Christians, they were the cool kids. They were the upper class. They were better English speakers, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So I'm sure in Nepal it happened too. A lot of people come and spread and like that. So I guess it's the same story all over the world. Then for myself, when I was young, whenever I was sick, then even if I'm not sick, my parents used to visit this Thai master, this Thai monk
In Singapore?
in Singapore. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, so anyway, he was an exceptional monk. He left a very deep imprint in my mind. He taught me many things. He taught me about the way of life, freedom from the way of life where people think what life is all about.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's what I learned from him. And then he was also the one that told me, say that to remember that in my life, my teachers would be monks wearing red skirts, because at that time, I guess not many people knew of Tibetan Buddhism yet, or Vajrayana Buddhism. And in the 80s, everybody was still sticking to dialect-speaking Chinese Mahayana Buddhism or Thai Buddhism in those years. Yeah, so that basically was it. So he passed away. He passed away on a date that he told me that would be easy for me to remember him. So he was meditating and he passed away in 1988, 8th of August morning, 8 o'clock.
Wow.
He sat up and he passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then after that, my mom, I was depressed, and my mom brought me to her friend, and her friend introduced me to another lady who was like a clairvoyant. And then that clairvoyant lady was following another Chinese monk who was a Dharma brother of my refuge master in Singapore. And then I followed him. That's where I seriously learned the rites and rituals and ceremonies of Chinese Mahayana Buddhism. So that went on for about two years, and then maybe 3 years. Then after that, I really wanted to become a monk. I was very disillusioned with school life, disillusioned with many things that I really thought I want to become a monk. I want to focus on studying and become a monk. But conditions were not right, because my gurus did not want to ordain me without me getting permission from my parents. But my parents refused.
Mm.
And so I couldn't become a monk. Then later on I went to Nepal after having some dreams. I dreamed of a man with mustache and everything. He was wearing some funny clothes and wearing a funny hat, right? And then in appearance, he put his hand up, and then I appeared right in front of him, and he said, "Now is the time. Now is the time for you to come back." You know, yeah. Then I said, "Come back," but and they say, when the time comes, you will know." So so there were cases before that dream. There was a dream. I was supposed to go to Australia with my childhood friend who lives one story above me, right? And so we were supposed to go to Australia in his father's ship. His father was a captain of a ship, and so we could go there for free, just to have fun, and then take the ship back, cross the equator line and all that. At 16 years old, all these things would be so fun, right? Yeah, and then I went to pray in the temple near me, and the divination stick says it's very bad. So no. Then after that, I started to have dreams of Amitabha Buddha saying that, in this year, this month, this date, this time, you go to this address. And you go to this address. I have the same dream, same instructions on consecutive 3 nights. And then I went, and really somebody was there. Yeah.
It's a very specific dream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very specific dreams. And I told my parents, but my parents thought I was lying. So I went on my own. And true enough, there was this Rinpoche there, called Shangpa Rinpoche. Well, at that time, the center was Karma Kagyu Buddhist Center. So I met with the Rinpoche, and Rinpoche gave me advice, and they asked me to recite certain mantras, and then from the mantras, then the dreams and the visions started to get clearer. And then with more instructions going to this year, this month, this date, this time, you go to this another center, and then there'll be another person there, and then you just go. So I went there this time with my father, my parents, and then we went there. And true enough, there was this American nun who was going, so I followed her. And that's it. 16 years old. After my O levels, I went to Nepal. 1990. Yeah.
How many years were you in Nepal at Kapan Monastery?
Yeah. How many years? Frankly speaking, I've given up trying to remember. and who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the truth of it. So been up and down, Nepal, Singapore, like that. And then in between have to study, in between have to serve national service, go to the army, and then starting work and so on and so forth. And on my own to study and to meditate and do retreats and stuff, and like that.
You mentioned that you were disillusioned with school and daily life at such an early age. Was there also an aspiration? Were you looking for something too that drew you to Buddhism?
I personally, I felt at that time, also one thing was if you have a parents that were really so strict, and it's how it feels like I don't know what's the English word. 很紧，好像透不过气，叫什么的
Constrictive. Constraint.
No.
Rebellion?
No. Like you feel very suffocated,
Yes.
Yeah, at home.
Yes.
Yeah. So from 14 years old when I followed my Chinese Mahayana master, so already from those years I always go to Malaysia with him, right? And then through the years I started to become braver, and not as a 14-year-old boy to be so afraid, right? And because to take a bus up to Malaysia by myself, who cannot speak Malay, and then slowly to learn and try to understand things. Yeah, so that was it, and then slowly it just felt that maybe it was a naturalized inclination, possibly because later on then, according to Lama Soba Rinpoche, says that for lives I was a monk, so I wanted to become a monk again. So that's why there was this very strong inclination at that age to want to become a monk. Yeah.
Do you consciously remember past lives, any of your past lives as monks?
Now?
Yeah. Or have you seen in your dreams or visions?
Yes, but I prefer not to talk about it.
That's perfectly
Yeah.
fine. So in your
Because there's nothing you can do about it.
right.
And sometimes with memory brings also with this kind of memory, right? It's called memory. With this kind of memory, sometimes bring about the unnecessary heartaches of previous lives. And I feel death of a particular personality is good because so that you don't keep on holding on to this kind of painful memories or attachment or happy memories, but it's already like a gone, just like you watch a cartoon or watch a movie, if it's gone, it's gone, like that.
Yeah.
So personally, that's how I view things. So many people ask me, oh, what do you feel about it? Honestly, I don't bother. I tell myself not to remember too many things. Yeah.
So in your exploration of Theravada, Chinese Mahayana, and Vajrayana, which you now teach, what would you say is the core teaching or practice of Buddhism?
The core teaching and practicing of Buddhism is really about waking up.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
What does that mean?
Wake up from illusion and disillusionments. Whatever so give a very good example. What is called waking up, right? When you're dreaming, do you know you're dreaming?
Sometimes, most often not.
Right, most often not, right? And when in that dream, your fears are very real, your happiness is very real, your everything is very real. And you don't, and at the time, those moments, you don't even know you're dreaming. You're totally not just lost, you're also totally immersed in that dream, the experiences, the food, the everything. Even though you may be riding on a car that has a shape of a crocodile, but it feels really really happy, and yeah, I'm driving a crocodile car, wearing a bird hat or whatever, So, talking to a chicken. I remember when I was young, I dream I dream of talking to chickens in my dream. Yeah, I asked the chicken, what are you doing? The chicken is looking at me. Oh, I'm looking at you. The chicken, actually, the dreams of my conversation of a chicken taught me something. The chicken didn't think about the past, nor didn't think about the future. The chicken was living at every moment in time in its own time and space of what I call the chicken's pure presence. Right? So for me, it's waking up is about, wake up from the illusion and the disillusionment of time, space, body, truth, facts, falseness, and everything, all multi-dimensional phenomena. So it's all about waking up. So when you wake up, you start to take responsibility. If we realize people who are naturally in samsara, all of us are, but people generally from their ancestral heritage and influence is always about, we learn from examples. So we learn from our grandparents or relatives and everything. Say, oh, anything happened? Oh, because that person did this, that's why I'm like that. There's a lot of blaming, there's a lot of complaining, there's a lot of justifying, there's a lot of gossiping, and then there's a lot of things, so on and so forth. So really, if you ask me, all these things are things that we should wake up from. You see, all this samsara, all these things, we learn and still continue to behave like that because we are not responsible. And we don't want responsibility. We don't want to be responsible for the things that we are experiencing, And so it comes to this point, where other people or ourselves, we put in whatever hard work, and then when we get success, we brag a lot. Or if not, if something fails or something is there's some difficulty, first thing we start to blame the government, we start to blame the people, we start to blame this, start to blame that, not like that. Such is truth of this time and age in this world system.
So, two ways you've talked about waking up. One, similar to waking up from a dream, where you see reality anew, as if when you wake up, you realize the dream was not really real. It was a delusion. And the second way you're saying about waking up is taking responsibility. and from what I understand, taking responsibility for our experience. Would that mean that I am responsible for experience of suffering?
Yes.
And I am also responsible for my own experience of freedom from suffering.
Yes.
Can you talk more about that?
I'm responsible for my own suffering because I choose to suffer. For example, I have backache, and everybody says, adjust your body posture. Posture is the word. Posture. And then do some exercise and weightlifting and everything to maintain or to build muscle, if not maintain your muscle mass, right? But doing things with a discipline is suffering. Who doesn't want to just laze and right? And after that, because of lazing and chilling, the more we think we are lazing and chilling and that is relaxing, the worse the body condition becomes. So I'm actually responsible. I'm the one that make myself suffer, but I don't see it. The truth is, I'm responsible for whatever I'm suffering. If somebody scolds me, it's due to their kindness that they're scolding me. Or if somebody scolds me and I feel that I am hurt at that moment, and even next day I still continue to hold the hurt, and the next year I still continue to hold the hurt, and the next decade I still continue to hold the hurt, it's not going to be the same hurt. It's going to be based on emotion and based on make belief and based on this and that. How many percent of what we believe it is still holds so true, but you're trying to make a muscle memory or mental muscle memory of or it was like that, it was like that. Maybe it wasn't like that. So I am responsible for my own suffering. Similarly, the other thing that you're saying, I'm responsible for my own happiness, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Then you are making effort to be happy. You are making effort to make changes in the way we think, feel, live, and exercise. Because everything is an exercise. Right? This exercise of prayers are actually exercises. All right? Exercise the way you think, exercise the way you feel. So these are all exercises. So this is what I personally feel, that pain and suffering is our responsibility. Happiness, bliss, also our own responsibility. There's no running away from it or somebody give us happiness.
So it's about our own choices and what we choose to exercise or practice. So in the first situation, I don't choose to take care of my back, strengthen my muscles, therefore I hurt. But in the second situation, when someone else is doing something to me, I choose to hold on to it and keep replaying it instead of choosing to let go. Therefore I hurt. It's in a similar vein. For instance, if I receive a diagnosis of an illness, and then I might say, well, I've been taking care of my health. I've been doing everything I can. I've chosen the right things, but I still have this illness. How is this my responsibility? How is this caused by me?
It's still caused by you because you may be thinking that you are doing the right thing. Right? Like a good example would be, I take care of my health and this and that, like I having diabetes. Oh, I do everything that I can to keep my blood sugar down. How can I be getting more sick? Isn't it? That's what everybody would be advised, right? Keep your blood sugar down, keep your blood sugar down. I don't think that is actually the way to go, the amount of effort to keep your blood sugar down, you use that effort to do exercise and eat right, your blood sugar naturally goes down and your muscle mass naturally goes up. Why are you working so hard to keep a particular number down and neglecting the overall, or what, how to say in English? Focus on one small point and you lose the big picture.
Yeah,
Something like that.
the picture, the holistic picture.
Yeah, holistic picture. So, like that.
Yeah, so it's about what we choose to focus on, what we choose to put effort into. We may not be putting effort into the most skillful things.
Yes.
It's about what we choose to hold on to, what we choose to let go, what we choose to do, what we choose to not do. You also talked about thinking and feeling, so seeing things in a certain way, interpreting things in a certain way, or training to feel things in a certain way. So what would be some practices that anyone can do to become more happy? Some things we can do to just be more happy.
Oh, this is a big trap.
Happiness?
And it should be not for happiness. You see, it's like somebody being addicted to drinking.
Yes.
The more you drink to get that feeling of a high, what happens?
You get addicted.
Yeah, not just addicted and what else? You lose money, lose health, lose so much more things to lose. So happiness is also a drug. I don't know what's the name of the hormone, what, oxytocin, is it?
Oxytocin and endorphin.
Oxytocin, dopamine.
Yeah, all these things make people feel happy, right? Yeah, you just keep on, it's like focus only on happiness. Oh, come on. If you like to eat pani puri, you can eat pani puri every day for the next 30 days. You don't eat pani puri for the next 10 years. Right? I love pani puri. If you ask me if I can eat pani puri every day, no. Right? I cannot eat Chinese food all the time. I'll die. Right? Yeah. So like that, even though I'm Chinese, but I don't feel I'm Chinese. I'm not like those hardcore Chinese. They believe they are Chinese. They think Chinese, talk Chinese, feel Chinese. That is another illusion.
So what is a good happiness? When you pursue it directly, when you chase after it, it actually makes you unhappy.
Yes.
You become miserable. So what is a good thing to focus on? What is a good aspiration if happiness is not the optimum, not the best?
For me personally, it's about inner serenity. Yeah, I spent so many years trying to understand the English words, and in the end, I settled with inner serenity, where it's inner and nobody can see. The serenity is your own to experience. And you can actually really see if someone has inner serenity. You can feel the vibes from that person, And inner serenity is not really, it's not about choosing to do good, choosing to be good, and so on and so forth. Inner serenity is they know what they can, they know what their limitations are. They do to their best, to their choice, to their activity, and like that. And they have their own, what's this English word? 有自己的节奏叫什么?
Own rhythm.
Yeah, their own rhythm of life. Yes, sorry, English really not my natural language, so I think it's differently a little bit. Yeah. So like that, when you have inner serenity, you have your own rhythm, and it is this rhythm that is experienced, and not just thinking, and not just temporary feeling. Is first you experience it, and then after that, you try again. It's something like chasing after happiness, but this inner serenity does not need to be chased. You just need to stop chasing. And it has always been there. So when we allow ourselves to go to that stage, I guess when you allow yourself to go back to that stage, really what happens is that you are able to analyze, reflect, feel, observe everything clearer, better, beyond form, beyond beliefs, beyond just thoughts, beyond culture, beyond illusion, beyond so many things. And everything becomes a heart-to-heart connection. Like that. For lack of a better word. Like that.
Yeah. Is what you're calling inner serenity, is that the ultimate human potential? Is that the Buddha nature that Buddhism says is our highest nature?
No, I guess that is more of a foundational. Inner serenity is foundational because ultimate Buddha nature first, you need to have inner serenity. Then you start to generate this feeling of renunciation. What is renunciation? Renunciation does not mean taking a vow of penance and then after that you don't do it anymore. It's like, I would explain like, being addicted to soda. And then when you realize how much sugar and flavorings and chemicals are in the soda, then you have this awakening, this observation and this and that, right? If someone offers me a soda, I still drink soda. I can drink, I can taste some soda. I don't need to drink the whole bottle. I just drink more water. That's like I learned from her, Taste everything and eat nothing. Yeah. Right? Taste everything and eat nothing, and taste everything and drink nothing. So that there's this sense of renunciation. It's not that I cannot, but I don't need. You see? Because I don't need, I also don't embrace, nor do I reject. It's just in harmony with it. I'm at peace with it. I can drink some, I can don't drink some. It's my choice. Right? So that's renunciation. Now, to go to reach that spirit to understand like this Buddha nature, we need to go even deeper. From that, in the next thing is the kind of feeling known as like being adventurous. Because you're adventurous, you should have a spirit of sportsmanship, right? And so the spirit of sportsmanship and also the spirit of enlightenment. I want to know why it's like that. I want to know why everybody says it's like that. I want to know what is it for me actually, So it's called the spirit of enlightenment, the spirit of awakening, so that you are able to really feel, is it really like that? And even when you can see through things, you still are at peace with it. And then after that, then it's a choice. Then you will want to know, because things, when you see through things and you know that everything can be adjusted, or like you knead a dough, right? Everything can be, everything is, you can shape shifting, or everything is pliable. External phenomena is pliable. Your mind also pliable. Your activity also pliable. So you can shape shift in your mind, in your body, in or speech pattern, and then it goes into the third aspect known as realizing emptiness. First, simple understanding, and then investigative mind, with our own investigative mind, to understand what is the empty nature of phenomena. So in Buddhism, we talk about emptiness, emptiness, emptiness. Emptiness is not nothingness. Rather, emptiness is really telling us that you are able to create, and you are able to plant the seed for future, and you are able to influence, you are able to change things, you are able to do so many unbelievable things because of emptiness.
Mm.
Emptiness really means zero, right? Because it is zero, then you can create. Like many zeros behind a one, the value is very different, Yeah, so the right view of emptiness is to understand. Not in the beginning is intellectual understanding first, about interdependence, and then and then with that we apply with the physical body, and then with external phenomena, and then we apply it to self, and then we apply it to object and subject, and then we apply it to things, to all phenomena. So the first one, like I said, the first one would be external things like buildings, like cars, like people or family or relationships, the external thing. The other one, the fourth one would be really, you're able to see things as it is. So first is about things, second is about self, third is about object and subject, and fourth is about the phenomena of existence. Slowly. That's how I do.
Maybe this is a good time then to talk about specifically Tantra and how does Vajrayana practice of Tantra. Maybe you can talk about deity yoga. How does that accomplish this realization of true nature of all things?
I tell you the truth, just practice deity yoga is impossible, because it can be like, frog in the well. Take the frog out of the well, and the frog sees water in another well and jump back inside. And it jumps straight back into the water in the well, another well. So just by saying, deity yoga, practicing Tantra, and it doesn't help. Without a firm foundation of merit and wisdom, without merit, you can never have wisdom. So one is the main thing about Western society is that they intellectualize a lot, and yet they don't accumulate merit, because they feel that, just to have an intellectual understanding is good enough. It's like I was talking about the Westerners, the Western side, they know how to use soap to clean the water bottle, right? A thermos water bottle. The Easterners, they believe in employing somebody else to clean your water bottle. They don't want to pray. And they say, I give some money. Oh, please, you go and pray on my behalf, right? And so one just have faith. The other one just wants to understand. What can happen? Charlatans will come. Take your money. Come. I do for you. Then what do they do? You don't know. The other one just studied. They want to know how the soap can clean the water bottle. What's the point of knowing how the soap can clean the water bottle? Like, for example, how come this thing, is This black color box with this wire, must be the lasso that catch the spirit of my voice and my soul inside. You understand? It's like maybe 150 years ago, 100 years ago, people who were uneducated people fear all these kind of gadgets, And it goes into the side that Western people like to intellectualize what is in the water bottle, What is in the soap? Does it match? Is it the right chemical to clean the water bottle? Why I know? Because I got students who ask me these kind of things. What if this soap is not the right one to clean the bottle? I said, you can brush your teeth without toothpaste too. Even if you don't have toothbrush, use your handkerchief to clean your teeth. The main thing is clean your teeth, right? So, like that. So, merit is the foundation of all success. So you can see, maybe those people who make a lot of offering, who do a lot of beneficial activities, and thus we label them as good. They seem to maybe have a better conditioning, right? I don't know, but let's not just say that just by doing good and you have a better condition, because it's not necessarily true. There are forces of karma, ripening of past phenomenal seeds. There are people who do a lot of good and still suffer like shit, And so, merit is very important. Merit is the foundation of digestion. Without good digestion, you get indigestion, right? So that's why in Ladakh, the greeting is Jule, means, do you have good digestion?
Oh, really?
Yeah. In Ladakh, Jule, did you digest well? Because in that kind of cold and everything, you don't digest well, you die. Isn't it? So it's really, how's your digestion? This is the first thing people
First thing
ask.
people say,
Yeah, first thing people say, or ask and greet one another, did you digest well or no? Did you shit? Like that, Yeah, and I feel that then it's really meaningful, because they really ask somebody that is really about staying alive, So really about digestion. Merit is the digestive juice of intellect. Without digesting whatever we have studied, you will not be able to analyze. I have seen and experienced many very highly educated people not able to practice because they think too much and go on to the habitual overdrive of thinking. Even though they accumulate merit, they still continue to think, and they come from multi-dimensional world system and think, and they lost the ability to feel. So, merit, digestion, wisdom is what makes us to be able to meditate naturally. We don't need to use the word deeply. Meditate naturally and to do analysis and reflection. And that is what shape-shift our activity, even if it's just 1 degree. There's an internal shift in what you want to think or feel, like that. And then after that, everything starts to adjust accordingly. Yeah.
So merit would be practicing, not just thinking about what you've studied, but practicing them.
We'll be practicing, also be doing good, like about helping other people, volunteering, making offerings, doing the pilgrimages, doing the offerings, sharing whatever you've got, the actual activities of benefiting others in a simple sense, Yeah.
So that would be the foundation.
The foundation,
And
yes.
what you're saying, shape shifting, if I understand correctly, is that we begin to see how everything is influencing everything else. And by changing my own intentions, my own thoughts, my own feelings, I can begin to shape things in a beneficial way, in a skillful way. Whereas before I was creating more suffering.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that becomes the basis for practicing naturally, perhaps meditation. And that's a prerequisite for a more advanced practice like deity yoga. Yeah. So I'm interested in deity yoga because I'll say something I have come up against in my practice. So over the years, I have learned to, like you were saying before, not be attached, not have aversion to external things first. No attachment, no aversion. I don't need them to be happy. I can taste them. I don't have to eat them. No attachment, no aversion. And then gradually I began to be able to do that internally. No attachment when anger comes up. No attachment, no aversion. I can let it be. When fear comes up, I can let it be. When memory comes up from the past, I can let it be. So I can the way I think about it is I can let go of things. I don't have to hold on to them. I don't have to resist them. I can let go of things, allow them to come up. But more recently, I'm realizing that, and I think you would agree, the fundamental thing is to let go of the self. In all of this, I'm still reinforcing the self. I'm still thinking, I am letting go. I am allowing. So the I'm still propagating. And in one of your talks, you mentioned practicing yourself versus practicing Buddhism. And I'm realizing that even though I've been practicing, in all my practice, I'm practicing myself, the self I keep propagating, continuing. And the way you've talked about deity yoga, it seems like one imagines, visualizes oneself to be a deity, to embody that deity and to conduct that deity's activities in their daily lives. And that seems to have the benefit of starting by just letting go of the self to begin with. I'm not Bishal anymore, but I'm this deity. And it is the deity which is initially greater than me, not the self that acts, speaks, hears through me. And eventually, as you get more advanced, the deity and I are one and the same. Is my understanding correct?
Yes. Fundamentally and foundationally correct. Yes.
So other than just taking on being initiated in deity yoga and practicing deity yoga, how would you suggest someone like me would be able to apply the same principles of deity yoga to let go of the attachment to the self, let go of the self? So I'm not continually practicing the self.
Good question. I use my example of this apple tree, Honeycrisp apple tree. My student gave me one heritage apple tree. Then I thought I also want to. I don't know how that apple tastes like, so I like Honeycrisp. So I asked her to buy one and then grow there. So when I grow that apple tree, does that apple tree belong to me?
No.
Hmm?
Yes and no.
Yeah. Why?
Well, to a certain degree, yes, but you don't own it, you don't control it, you can't make it grow
Why?
because it's dependent on so many other conditions.
And
ultimately, you don't have the power to make an apple grow.
and what else?
And I don't know what else.
Okay. And a very, very important point is to allow things. It's not a matter of I can control or I can make it or this and that. It's that, everything has its own rhythm, the rhythm of life. Weather also has its own rhythm. I cannot grow durian trees or jackfruit trees here, right? I sure can grow them in a pot, but as it grows bigger, it will start dying. It will not be able to survive here. So it really is about allowing things to bloom. And not, like I said, it's like when we cook, what do we put? What do we always put when we are cooking?
If we're cooking rice and water.
Yeah. Okay. And what else? For the dishes, what do you put?
For the dishes,
Yeah.
seasoning.
Yeah. What is the foundational seasoning?
I don't know. Soy sauce?
Salt.
Salt, yeah.
Just salt. You see?
Yeah.
You see? Now you understand?
Yeah.
You see, I'm asking you questions already, and what happens? You start to think about, but just foundationally, everything must have water because we can't be eating cardboard. Because if you dehydrate everything, it will be like cardboard, right? And the next thing foundationally is about water and salt, which you are right, water. And you said about the seasonings, and the foundation is salt. So when we cook, we always put salt. And this salt is always about how I feel it should be, how I feel if it's salty enough. Or what's the level? Level of saltiness according to my tastes, right? But when we are going on this path, it should be, if they don't want salt, then no salt. If they want salt, then salt. You put the table salt there, then they salt whatever they want to eat. Just cook without the salt. Salt is like, when I see salt, I always imagine salt like I, self. From the moment salt comes, then is I, then is self, then is grasping, then is identity, then it is imagine the logic and reasoning and so on and so forth. So you see, just by the saltiness, everything comes. So when I personally reflect on many things in my own me time, I call it me time. Prayer can be me time. Me time can be prayer too. Like somebody say, right? Somebody asks, can I smoke when I pray? Can you smoke when you pray?
I don't smoke, but when I did smoke, yeah, I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you smoke, can you pray?
Yes.
What's the diff? Praying and smoking and praying. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. It's my English private limited, so I'm using examples to try to let you feel it. Then you can make it into better, express it better, for your own understanding, like that. So if people want to smoke, they want to drink, they want to eat, I don't know. I don't need to care, nor do I need to influence, nor do I need to judge, it's a human right. Right? Human right, and also allow things to be in the rhythm of life.
I think I understand what you're saying. Let me say it, and you can correct me where I'm wrong. You're saying, one, instead of seeing myself as I control, I do this, I make things happen, I let go, I'm going to get enlightened, I can see the self as one of the conditions among many. Like the same way that I alone can't make an apple tree, but there are so many conditions, I don't own it. So the self and my aspiration, intention, I can hold it loosely as just one of the conditions among many. And I think the salt analogy that you were bringing up, it's like I can see it in my own practice. It's like this is the seed. Then that unless I take care of this self, it's like suffering is always there. This is the main foundation. And you're saying I can let it be part of the bigger rhythm of life without necessarily personalizing it, owning it. Is that correct?
Yes. So like you see, this actually a few months ago, I told her about, I asked her about my apple tree. So I said, how are the apples? She said, oh, you won't be able to eat any of the apples. I said, why? Oh, the rabbits came to eat it. The squirrels came to eat it because we didn't spray neem oil and everything, So then I said, oh, this is nice because, uh, so cute, right? The squirrel and the rabbit come to eat the apple, right? But if you are really doing this for consumption and everything, then you wouldn't start to feel that happy about rodents coming to eat your apples and stuff like that, right? So it's really about your choice. It's really about people's choice, people's condition like that.
Yeah, there seems to be in what you're saying a certain flexibility or allowingness to be one with how things are rather than how I want things to be all the time. It's okay to want things, but I don't have to make things how I want them to be.
Accordingly to the conditions, then you make the best out of what you have, right? When I was learning how to cook, my teacher said, a good cook, a person who can cook well, doesn't cook because they have all the ingredients. A person who can cook well with whatever is available. Yeah. So it's about understanding the nature of the ingredients, understanding the type of utensils, kitchenware you have, understanding about temperature of the type of flame, whether it's a wood flame, charcoal flame, gas, or high temperature, what kind of a cooking utensil, whether it's clay pot, carbonized steel, aluminum, stainless steel, cast iron, whatever, So all these things affect the results. So imagine cooking with a clay pot over a Chinese restaurant, high pressure flame. The pot, before you can put anything in, the pot cracks and breaks. So it's really about we need to harmonize, and we need to harmonize ourselves by understanding the nature of the natural phenomena of everything according to their own time and space. And that also takes experience, life experience.
I want to return one more time to the deity yoga. Is it a similar psychological mechanism if, for instance, I have an aspiration, I have a beneficial aspiration? If every day I hold my aspiration in my mind, I exercise my mind with my aspiration. I'm not doing visualizations, but I'm holding this aspiration as a prayer, as an intention daily, and trying to live that aspiration daily in my conduct, in my speech with other people. Is it a similar process as what one does in deity yoga?
Same, but different.
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Because you're doing the activity. Doing the activity may give you the result of the activity, but will not give you. But without the blessing of the lineage gurus or from your guru and the and by tapping onto the power of blessings and wisdom and everything from Shakyamuni Buddha himself, all through this lineage down. If you don't tap onto that flow of things, you simply cannot awaken.
Mhm.
You would have all the great success of samsara, become a very good leader, become a very charismatic leader, become a very influential person, and so on and so on. But that doesn't lead you to enlightenment. It's not about awakening anymore. So that's why I said it's same but different.
So you need the power or the benediction, the blessing, let's say, of someone who has been there, who knows, who is awakened, that the transmission of the Buddha.
Yes.
Maybe this is a good time to return to what you were saying earlier. You were saying you're the Buddha's receptionist.
Yes.
Can you say more about that?
It's true, right? Everybody comes ask me for solutions or this and that. I say, okay, well, let's pray, because it's the most convenient word that people can understand. Pray.
Mm-hmm.
But what the heaven or what the hell are we praying for? Or what the heaven and what the hell are we praying to? And comes to what end? To what result you want? And I can tell you, 99.5% people pray for big activity for small result. There's a result back to this, like, I pray all these things, and so that I have a good relationship with my children, a good relationship with my husband or my wife or my grandchildren will study and everything. Oh, imagine, the same 10 butter lamps that you light, or 1,000 butter lamps that you like, and the great pujas and everything, and dedicate towards enlightenment and for all sentient beings, versus the result when I dedicate, may my son listen to me so that I will be happy. What?
Yeah, we are asking for too little.
Yeah, asking for too little. The Chinese saying, kill a chicken with the saber that slays the dragon.
Right.
Right. 杀鸡要用屠龙刀.
You could be praying for enlightenment, awakening, and yet we are praying for these small things.
Yeah. So the convenient word is pray.
Mm-hmm.
So then if you say, or make dedication and everything, huh? You say pray. Oh yeah. Pray. So like that, you see. So it's just a convenient word. So when we're doing prayers, we are ringing the bell. So I said, I'm the Buddha's receptionist, right? And I'm saying, oh, Lord Buddha, or the lineage gurus, this person has this request. I ring the bell, ring, please answer the phone. And Buddha, please answer the phone because of this person. Then that's why I'm ringing this bell, and over there, so you can hear it very far. I sometimes after the puja, I think of these things that I do, and I laugh and I say, how I'm contradicting myself. So that's why I say I'm a receptionist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got this problem, you got to do this deity puja. You got this problem, you got to do this. You got this problem, you got to do that. So like I'm the receptionist, You want this, press 1. You got this, press 2. Please press 2. You got this, please press 3. To speak to operator, please press 0. I'm the operator. Yes. So like that.
Well, it's funny, but it's also true because you are the clear channel to that.
Yeah, I'm the operator. Yeah.
So what does it mean? You've talked about this in one of your Dharma teachings. What does it mean to pray for all beings, to practice for the benefit of all beings? And you talked about it as surrendering all resistance.
Yes, because to pray for all beings, like I said, praying is a convenient word.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the reality, there's no pray.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to pray. In Buddhism, there's no God. Pray to who? Right? Do I need to kowtow to the land and kowtow to the earthworms and the poop because I need to grow the vegetables. No, I just know how they coexist, and then I make the soil fertile, you know.
Mhm.
And then you just grow according to the seasons and so on and so forth, isn't it? Like yesterday somebody offered me some some bulbs to grow. And they were telling me the name of the flower, which I'm not familiar. I forgot. And they say that, you know, we grow this one because we don't grow tulips because before the beautiful tulips grow, they're still in the bud, the deers will come and eat up the tulips, right? So I don't know what's the other flower, the one that they bought. So really it's just the word praying, but actually it's about deeper understanding due to the exercise of renunciation, bodhicitta, and the right view of emptiness. And then we make the necessary dedications for each and everybody else. Yeah, like that.
What is the bodhicitta?
Bodhicitta would be the spirit of enlightenment.
Mm-hmm. What we talked about before.
Yeah, what we talked
yes.
before.
Yeah. And
Bodhi means enlightenment,
mm-hmm.
and the chitta means heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The heart of enlightenment. So in the talk that you talked about praying for all beings, you used the example of a multi-plug.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Could you share about that?
A multi-plug, you know, if you want to be of benefit for all sentient beings, you know, you pray for all sentient beings, right? You have to be the multi-plug. You don't resist, you know, or I'm a 3-pin plug on the British UK plug, China plug, and American plug, the socket, you know, and all kinds of things plugged in. You just allow everyone to plug into you and let it flow.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you don't stay there, say that, no, if you're not my type.
Right. You don't discriminate.
Yeah, you know, similarly, right, this socket, right, you're not my type, you cannot go in, you cannot tap into what I have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something very funny. I always hear from my students there when they say, you know, oh, which guy you like, which girl you like, or who you like, you know, oh, no, he's not my type, she's not my type. And they say, oh, you're not my type. So yeah, so like that. So really about the multi-plug, multi-socket thing, you know, it's if you have it, let them enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. And you also talked about in one of your talks, or this was actually in the book Timeless, you talked about becoming a Dharma detective
Mm-hmm.
in daily life when events happen in daily life. What does that mean?
To be a Dharma detective is in your daily life, where we are more often than never lost in our own expectations and delusive craving and attachments. You need to not just sometimes, but really try at every moment when we take not just one or two, but a few steps back and to see the whole situation. Are we losing am I losing the big picture of awakening, or am I really go engrossed in just the activity or doing the activity of administration or doing this? Am I have I become a good staff and lost the spirit of enlightenment?
Mm.
Yeah, like that.
So always having the highest aspiration or the biggest picture in mind.
The big picture and what can we learn from it all?
Mm-hmm.
Not just from my own experience, but each other's experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
So everything in life then becomes a way to grow and to learn, to awaken.
To awaken. I like this English word so that we can emerge from our past.
Mm-hmm.
We can emerge from our own shell.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. I think you've used the word recreate too before for that.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to ask a little bit about your practice. What does practice at this stage of your life mean to you? Do you practice something? What is your daily practice like at this time, if you have any?
My daily practice at this time is sleep. But sleep with awareness. Live with awareness, and always put in the seasonings of the seasonings of awakening into whatever that's happening around me. Never give up on the renunciation, never give up on the heart of enlightenment, and never give up towards seeing everything within the situation of the right view of emptiness, and ultimately the whole big picture of as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have other. Of course we do. The main things that they're still the fundamentals of the reflections of the four immeasurables, based on the Four Noble Truths, and the Noble Eightfold Path, and so on and so forth. And then how I adjust life to it, and not adjust the principles of Dharma to daily life. I should be adjusting life to the principles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to change the principles, you're
Yeah.
changing yourself
Yeah.
in the situation.
So that's why, like I said, everything is still my own choice, your own choice, our own responsibility. That's why in the early part I say, you want suffering is also your choice. You want happiness is also your choice. Right? You want to do your own, keep your samaya, also your choice. Yeah, you want to do your own prayer, change yourself, it's also your choice. Yeah.
Is it possible for a human being in this life, in this body and mind, to be completely free from suffering?
Yes. I have seen, and being in the presence of the great Bodhisattva masters or enlightened masters, where suffering is apparent, but no trace of suffering in the mind stream. Physical conditional suffering is apparent. Due to political situation, due to aging, due to sickness, due to different culture, time and place, and this and that, conditionally suffering is apparent. Normally people freak out and already let loose, gone loose. But internally there is this internal glow of pure presence, like that. There's no way human language can, or words can. It's just there.
You've said before how on the path we need a teacher and a lineage that transmits true teaching and that the true enlightened state. How does and you've also talked about how there can be so many charlatans, people who pretend to be teachers. How does one recognize a true teacher?
I would say the teacher cares more for you than him or herself, in the sense that for example, you are the teacher. I have big suffering due to craving of money. I keep on asking you for advice and everything, to find money and money and money and money, and everybody is like that, But if you really have a sincere, you really meet a real teacher, the teacher will start to care for you. What you are really needing is not money. Money is a phenomenal manifestation of your lack of security and childhood trauma and fear and need.
Mm-hmm.
Your guru able to look beyond that form and go straight to your soul, not just your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking to your soul. That's all I can say. The people say charlatan. If anybody not happy, everybody can make up story for anybody, right? So I have no comments on that. But when you say the real teacher, the real guru is something like that. You can be naughty, you can be this, you can be that, you can be everything, but the guru really talk to your soul, talk to your consciousness, and really, is that sincere care, warmth, support, and love beyond anything that you're asking about.
Mm. In a way, the example that you gave with money, it's like the teacher, you think you need money, but the teacher cares for your truest need deeper than what you know to be your need.
Yes.
And
Thank you
cares for
thank
that.
you for rephrasing it for me. Yeah.
And on the website, I think it's the Singapore Temple website, it said that your own aspiration that you've had is to be a teacher to those who do not have teachers. Can you speak more to that?
There are many people who reject the idea of teacher because of fear. There are also many people who live their life because of fear. And then they say, oh, because of this, that's why I'm like this. Because of that, because like that. Or because this thing happened, that's why I'm scared to go this. And I'm scared to become this. Because of that happened, because I'm scared to oh, this thing happened to my mother. Oh, this thing happened to my father. And like I said, I was explaining. So people who have so much of this, then, or because they grew up with overbearing parents, they cannot have teacher, because all they want is their own freedom and their own will. So when in my previous life, I remembered it was this very deep natural feeling that came up. So may I teach those that nobody want to teach, because it's not just the people who don't want gurus, but it's also those people who are choosing disciples or choosing students or choosing people who keep in their brood, and like a brood of chickens, yeah, the coop full of chickens, then so I teach without saying judging or discriminating the people, I just want to sincerely touch, connect, and let them know I'm here when you need me.
I have two more questions. We're almost done. One is, what advice? So I teach a class at my university called Meaning of Death. So this is related to that. So I think a lot about death. So what advice would you give to someone who may have a terminal diagnosis, who may be dying with
do the death meditation every day. In our practice, my practice, every day, few times a day, I meditate on death.
How does one do that?
That is a whole big new open a new chapter.
New chapter,
Yeah,
big chapter.
about the. I think you can read up on the Tibetan book of the dead. Yeah. So dissolution of the dissolution of the elements within the body, and recognizing the pure presence and the clear light mind for many people. Yeah, something like that. Slowly, that's a totally different subject.
Yeah, but I think the point there also is that instead of running away from it, you're embracing it, and you're actually, the word you used earlier, exercising it.
Unless meditating on death every day is like buying insurance. Definitely death is going to come. Then when you are when it's coming, then you're ready for it.
Yes.
Then you can take off, shoot. Yeah. Then he goes, yoo rather than, oh no, it's coming. Ah. So it's like that. If I don't know how to say it, then I do all the funny sounds.
So my last question to you is, if you could meet Shakyamuni Buddha in person, what would you ask him?
You never see another being like him. You Shakyamuni Buddha don't need you. We don't need to ask Shakyamuni Buddha anything. Even if you meditate in front of him, we see Shakyamuni Buddha these days in his body form, the statue. If you really make yourself, you release yourself and for lack of a better word, talk to him. He's never left us. You feel his kindness, love, care, compassion. You feel his enlightenment is beyond anything the human can experience or verbalize. Magnificent, gloriously magnificent, handsome, powerful, charismatic. I don't even want to use the word charismatic. And he never needed to do anything. He just walked simply, and he just walked just by his presence. You just want to throw everything and follow him. And that's the way to go. Everything that we are doing is nonsense. Truly nonsense. Whatever we have done, how great we think we are, how much we study, how much. It's unbelievable, Lord Shakyamuni Buddha. That's all I can say. But I asked him, there's no need to ask. You just want to drop everything and go. He is the very manifestation of it all. That's all I have to say. It's not like, anybody could kill him, anybody could do anything to him. Even Buddha's manifest passing away was because Buddha made the decision to pass away because Mara requested him to pass away at the age of 80. Like that. His decision to pass away. It's not that because of this, because of that. No. He accepted the request from Mara. And he told Mara, okay, in 3 months, then I will pass away. It's our karma of our human world. That because Lord Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha himself said, the Buddha has already purified all forms and everything of having all kinds of problems or short life or anything, which can live forever. He said something like this, to Ananda for 3 times. And Mara went to cover Ananda's ears, so Ananda didn't respond. He didn't say, please, Guru, please live for, like that. And so then after that, 3 times Buddha said, and Ananda have no response. Then Mara came to Buddha. You have done your duty for this time and place, like that. So he requested Buddha, since you're the world-honored one and you can fulfill the wishes, please fulfill my wish that you pass away. So like that, then Buddha accepted that the physical body pass away.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Mm.